What's up, tubers? TL here, Simplistic Fishing. Still breaking down Grand Lake. That's right, we're still there. We're on video number 7 now. This is going to be the offshore hotspots, the second video for offshore hotspots. If you guys missed any of the lake breakdowns we've done so far for Grand Lake, just go out and check out our lake breakdown playlist. You'll see them all out there. And don't forget to go out and visit the website, simplisticfishing.com, where you can pick up all these waypoints. Anyways, tonight we're going in. We're going to jump back into Grand Lake. We're on our second offshore video. Let's see what we can find. Here we are back on Navionics mobile app, breaking down Grand Lake. This will be our second offshore video that we've done. Now, if you missed the first couple of videos, what we've done is we've gone through Google Earth and we actually started way down here at the dam. We worked our way all the way up Grand Lake and all the way back down using Google Earth satellite image to really see what was out there. And now we're on our final stages of breaking down the lake, where we go out and we look at the contours of the lake. And then based on the contours, we try to pick out high percentage areas that we consider offshore hotspots. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Last time we started at the dam, we ended right here on this waypoint. So we're going to start from here and move our way up. My one disclaimer that I always like to throw out there is I can't mark every single offshore hotspot, especially on these giant reservoirs. And this one's not giant, but you know what I mean? It's very large. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that I'm probably going to overlook, but hopefully this will help the people that are just now beginning to fish, or if it's the first time you've been to the lake and you don't have time to break down the lake, this is a very easy way to be able to have everything here at your fingertips and be able to look at the lake and figure out, you know, how you want to pattern your day, things like that. So hopefully you guys will be able to really take advantage of this. So let's go ahead and just jump into it and get started. So we're going to start on this river channel swing right there where we had the waypoint. Obviously, where I have the waypoint itself, really like that, because if you look here, you've got a really nice little flat point. It's fairly close to the river channel. But the thing that I don't want you to overlook here, just because you might get too focused here on this waypoint, is you have a main lake point that's right on the river swing right there in front of you. Which that's going to be a good one. The river's flowing this way. They're going to stage up here and stuff like that so they can ambush bait coming across or basically coming up to them. It's going to be a really good point to fish, so you definitely want to fish that one. I don't know why I didn't mark that one. You'll notice that I marked all the other points down here, and they're all going to be similar, so I'll try to pick up the pace because we have a lot of waypoints to do today. But you'll want to fish any of these points that are close to these river channels, right? It's just a given. Those are always great places to fish. You'll see people have markers on most of these points as well. And then when you get down here and you really get into where it looks like the river kind of splits off here, but it comes back and it meets right at this point. And so that makes this point really juicy as well, because it has a creek bed coming up here, and it also has this main riverbed coming through here from the river. So it looks like it's a diving spot as well, but definitely something you want to look at. That point right there looks really, really good. Let's dive down and let's go into this cove and see what we can find down here. We'll start on this side. We'll work our way to the other side just like we do the rest of the lake. Again, really good secondary point here. Love how it sets up. It has access to really deep water, but it's a real nice little secondary point. If I pull out here, you'll notice, you know, it's a good stopping spot for them. If they're coming out of the main lake and they're coming back and maybe they're going to get in some of these pockets or something, it's a really good stopping spot for them. It's also a great stopping stop for them as they're moving out towards the main lake as well. So good little area to take a look at. Let's move on back, see what else we find. I was just kind of looking at this river channel and just kind of following it and seeing if there was anything, you know, cool around it. There is this couple cool little areas right in here. You got this submerged bridge, but right here, if you look, you've got like a little point. It's pretty subtle, but it's right on the edge of that creek channel. So I would like to fish that point as well and just see if I could find anything there. We're going to move back. We're kind of following that creek channel down, and kind of the same thing again, you know, nice little secondary point here, really close to a creek channel or a creek bed. You've also got this big, huge flat that's over here too. This one looks pretty juicy, getting out on the outside edges of it too. Some pretty nice breaks as well. So that looks good. And I don't think I have anything else further back in there as far as offshore, but that was some pretty good stuff. Let's move over here And let's go check out this side. Same type thing again, right? You're always looking for those points, those stopping spots that they're going to go into when they're headed in the back of these pockets. And this is just a perfect little stopping spot for them, whether they're coming back here or whether they're going to go on back down the main channel. But it's a really good stopping spot, and it has a really nice little flat top on it as well. So nice little feeding table there. As we move up, you know, I didn't mark everything, but if that point thing is working really well, you know, you want to check out some of these points as well, especially like this one here, where it's really close to the creek channel. I don't see any other ones that are really, really close. Maybe this one, but it's pretty far out. But this one gets pretty darn close. So does this one right here. So you could check out those. And then as you move back here, you've just got a submerged bridge back here that looks like it could actually come into play. And it's right on the edge of a creek channel kind of swing right there. So it swings out. This looks like it's pretty bluffy right here, pretty steep, but then it goes to that shallow section. You guys heard me say it 1,000 times, when you can find those little spots where it's really, really deep and then it starts to taper off. I have no idea why, but those are really good spots for me, and I really try to focus in on those areas. So right in here, and then you can even check out that bridge. It's only in about 25 foot of water. Let's go on back. We got one more spot back here to look at, and it just sticks out like a sore thumb. You know, if you're swimming and you're like, man, I got to take a break. Where am I going to take a break at? You might stop here. And then, you know, you'll stop there for a little bit, and then you'll get back out on the highway, and then you're going to come down here and you got to stop right here again, right? So this is a great stopping spot that they're going to go to before they get back here into the backs of these things. Okay, so we're going to pull out of there. We're going to get back out to the main lake. This is where I'm at right here. If you're wondering where I am, kind of get your whereabouts. I just came out of this little pocket right here, and I'm going to start right in this area. So we're going to come out. Obviously, there's a really good point there. We already talked about that one. As we come up, we're just going to point out those points as well. Again, looking at all these points that have these creek channel or river channel swings, right? This one's got the creek channel that comes up, and it swings all the way out, kind of outside that point, but it does hit the point on both sides. And so that makes it a really good looking point. And let's look and see what's down here, because something's down here. Fishy. Check it. That's funny. So I put a waypoint there so we could check it. But obviously that's just a good looking area. You know, if you just look at it, there's just a lot of good stuff going on. You got a submerged bridge down here. You probably got some rock going on here. It's really, really steep right in here. And then it gets up and kind of tapers off right here at the point. Gets deep again around the point. And then, of course, same thing on this side. So it sets up really, really well. Just a good looking point. Probably a very high percentage, well fished point, kind of community type area. All right, let's go back in here. I don't know why I picked this one. I think I picked this, yeah, just because it's a nice little point that's right there. This may have been more of a Google Earth thing. If it says point, that definitely is what it means. But on Google Earth, I believe there was some riprap there off that point. I also liked it because it's a nice little pinch point, right? Before they get back in here, they kind of set up here. And so that might be a good area to look at. Might be too shallow, but I'd check it out anyways. All right, so now we're gonna go up here. We're gonna go down this long arm over here. And sorry that I don't know the names of all these creeks, but as we come back in here, I'm sure there's some stuff down in here. In fact, let's just go look at it and see if there's anything that jumps out of me. Yeah, there's nothing really that really jumps out. I kind of like this area right here off this point. See where all these big steep drops are? So there's something going on right here off the edge of this point based on the contours. Let's keep looking over here. You got some road beds back in there. Let's back this out and see where our next waypoint is. Got some main lake points out there. This one here, I really liked it because, again, it has that flat top, right? And if you look at this dock could come into play too, because it looks like it's sitting right on a ledge. But this right in here, definitely look at that. It looks like it's in play. Plus, if you notice here, you got this road bed that comes up this way. So that's going to make that even more attractive. We've got another spot that's right in here, just kind of coming around this point. I'm actually going to remove that one. Oh, it's a transition. I was going to say, I don't know why that one's there. There's a transition going on here. So basically you've got a lot of rock over here, and then it must get sandy or muddy right in here. So that's just a really good transition area that you may want to check out right in there. Kind of interesting areas, but when you find them on Google Earth, I try to mark them, especially if they're really obvious, and this one must have been a pretty obvious one. Now, while you're fishing here, all you got to do is kind of loop over here, and these docks are going to be really good docks. They're sitting right on the edge of the creek channel, which makes them money to fish around. And look at that. I mean, all those docks, that whole strand from basically there to down here, those docks are going to be very high percentage docks to fish. You want to fish those docks while you're here. Then looking down here, I didn't mark it, but got a pretty decent little point down here too. Look how steep that drops off, but yet it's still fairly shallow over here, and you got a little pocket back in here, so right in there could be a spot you want to look at. Let's see if I got anything else back in here. I don't. So we're going to go up here to this side and see what's back in here. Obviously, we got this good creek channel coming here, right? This could be a spawning flat possibly, so you may want to check that out like in the springtime, especially with having that nice creek channel beside it. It's got a road bed that comes across it too, so you could check that out. I like this little point here where this river channel comes up or creek channel comes up, it swings down and it touches the edge of this point right here. And as we were talking earlier, these are going to be good docks to fish around. They're touching the creek channel. We're going to come back over here. You got a pretty decent little ledge here. I marked it for you. I don't know if there'll be anything here, but check this out. It's going to go from, let's go 4 feet to 31 feet. So there's a heck of a ledge going on right here. And it's a creek channel swing. And that's obviously why the ledge is there. But this could be a productive area. If you don't find them here, pull back and check out this point right here. It's got a nice flat top to it as well, and it's really close to that creek channel swing. All right, so they're going to come out of here. Long's Resort, we're over by them. Not seeing too much here. There is a spot right here, and it's the creek channel bend. So, maybe looking in there, but I don't see too many, from a contour perspective, I don't see too much going on there. That would be a dock I'd want to look at, though. Let's keep moving up, see what else we can find. This is going to be the next point that I really liked. Again, I like those points that have those shallow tops on them and then they break off. I've just had a lot of success with them, so I try to mark them for you if I see them. That one's a little bit more main lake. I guess you could call it secondary, but it's like the first point they would come to. Let's go back up in here, see what else we can find. Got another good little pinch point right in here with the road bed. These spots are sneaky little spots. When you can find these little pinch points, they like to hang around these spots for sure. And then now you've got some cover too. Definitely a spot I would go look at. I'm going to back this out, show you guys where I'm at, because I came out of that cove a little bit too fast. So I'm right there on marker 101. All right, we're going to keep moving up. We're going to stay on this side, right? This is going to get a little hairy as we get up into this thing. But as I come up here, we're going to start seeing a lot more waypoints. And, really it's just these nice points. I mean, look at this point. This point's got a real nice flat top on it, and then it drops off. This one's got looks like some old foundations that are out here. Maybe even have a brush pile here with a nice flat top and a big drop off as well. And that's not even the side that's close to the creek channel. The side that's close to the creek channel is the other side until we get up here. Once you get up here, there's a pretty interesting little hump that's right here. So you could check out this hump. I think it's in 30 something feet. I think it was. That's not going to let me do it. Let's see if I can zoom in. 25 feet. And you're like, man, that's a pretty deep hump. Yeah, but it goes to 50 feet, so that's a heck of a hump. That's a heck of a drop. Definitely something they would look at. You're coming over here, you're kind of looking at the same thing we've always been talking about, where it gets steep and starts tapering off. You kind of have that going on there, plus you have a really good point here that's right here by this river channel swing. All right, I'm going to keep moving down. Got another good little point here. Kind of the same type thing, right? Somebody has another point there right underneath mine. Let's see what it says. Point, deep drop. So there's a deep drop by that point. Yep, that's why we marked it. Also over here, we got several different spots that are back in here. Let's show you guys where I'm at again. I'm right back up in here now. I'm going to come back in these little fingers that are here. And this whole area just, it looks juicy to me. These types of areas set up well to me, especially if I was fishing in the fall. So if I'm fishing in the fall, I'm probably headed to these areas for sure. Why? Because they're long little extended points with nice flat tops on the top of them. That one's pretty long. This one's semi-long. That's kind of short, but look, it's right there off the river channel. This one's pretty long as well. So just like that whole setup right there. Don't know what that fish icon on that dock says. It just says dock. It is an isolated dock, so maybe a good dock to take a look at. But anyways, guys, really like that area. That's probably one of the best areas I've seen as far as those big points that come out with those flat tops. That's a really good one. Now over here, there's a couple different things I could have marked. As we get over here just to the middle out here, you've got this island that's out here. And if you look on this side of the island, you've got that riverbed. So you're going to have major drops going on this side. So you could check that out. If that's not your thing, then come over here, fish around some of these points, like this point here. Nice Nice big shallow flat back here, right? And then a really big sharp drop right here on the outsides of them. Right here, same thing, big huge flat, and then nice drops. Same thing again, big flat, nice drops. It happens all the way up here. When I pull it back, you can really see the drops where the contours get tight. And then some really good shallow water up here. Again, you got another good little point that's right there too. We're gonna keep moving up. Now we're up here by this bridge. Let's see what, if it'll tell, hopefully maybe it'll tell us where it is. We're by the Royal Bay Yacht Club. So if you're wondering where I'm at, I'm by the Royal Bay Yacht Club. As I get up here, obviously, man, when you find a river channel that's coming through here like this, and it's coming right through the middle of a bridge, those are probably the most productive areas to me on the lake to fish, especially in the wintertime. You know, get out on those bridges. Those fish are just going to hang out on those bridges and just wait for the bait to come to them. And they'll stack up on those pillars. It's crazy. So you definitely want to take advantage of those areas that are like that with those bridges. And, you know, that's probably going to be a community spot. You're going to have a lot of people fishing in here. If they are, back off over here and check this little spot out. I don't know what's going on here with these. Let's see what these green things say. They just say that there's a hump there. But you can tell there's something going on here from a contour perspective. You got some breaks going on here. Some other people have kind of marked this, you know, as a hump, so it could be a nice little hard spot. Just something to check out while everybody else is fishing around the bridge, but don't pass up on the bridge. Go fish it. Even if everybody else is there, still go fish it. Coming out here, really good point. Again, coming off of a river channel swing, right? Or coming into a river channel swing, I guess you could say, right in there. Another spot right here that I really liked. And this was basically just saying, I think there was something here. I guess I put offshore, but really I probably shouldn't have put that there. I'll take that back. But if you look here, I guess you could say offshore, but really you'll just want to fish this group of docks that's right here, because it's probably too deep to get out here. But these docks are setting right up on the middle of the edge of the creek channel swing, which is really, really big. So you definitely want to fish that area in there. All right, we're going to move back. Down here, it gets a little bit interesting. You don't see too much of this on this lake, but you got this little point that comes out here. It's got a nice flat top on it. Kind of extends all the way out here and kind of stays fairly shallow. So those could be interesting. If that doesn't work, just move up here and kind of check out this little area in here. Maybe even this point, being that it's fairly close to that creek bed. Move back here, get in the back of this thing. Just got one spot back here. Looks like it's a submerged bridge. So we're going to pull back up, come back up here. I marked this one because I haven't seen this a lot. And of course, I have not been to Grand Lake, so I don't know how much flooded timber. I'm sure there's a lot more as we get further north. But right here, it shows that there's flooded timber in this area. And if you look, there's an interesting little point that's coming out here, or a little, I guess, just a little drop that's happening right here in this area, right here where this flooded timber is. So they could set up here, definitely, and I would do some skating there. That one's definitely not as obvious, but maybe a place to look at. You also have this point here, really close to the river channel that's up there. You're going to see the same thing here. We just marked all of those points. My favorite one is the one right there where the cross is at. That's going to be this one right here. That's not to say that you don't fish these. I would fish these as well. They all look like really good spots. And look at all the fishes in here, you know, 4-pounder, 3.5-pounder, Red Rock Cove. So you basically, they're saying, hey, fish these docks, but definitely if they're not on those docks, they're going to pull out here to these points. And so they're going to be out on these points. So you definitely want to look at those points. All right, let's move on up. Whoa, let's see how much farther we can go. I think we're getting pretty close to the tail end of this river, but let's see how much farther we can get up here. We got a couple more points here. You know, this one's an interesting one. It kind of comes out a little bit further. Oops, didn't mean to hit that. Comes out a little bit further. It's 12 foot on the top. It's not too bad. Really close to the riverbed though, which makes it again a high percentage area. We're going to come up here, starting to split off. Looks like one more time. This will be our last big split that we'll cover. We'll see if we can cover this one on the video. Let's go over here. Let's see right here where this creek bed comes up. Again, you guys have seen me mark these 100 different times, especially if you watched my videos before, but like a nice, juicy looking spot right there, guys. I would definitely look at that spot. Also over here, this one's a little bit not as obvious, but you've got like this big flat that's over here. Something going on, right? 13, 17 feet, it's 21 feet out here. And it comes out to this point that's right here. And so I went ahead and marked that because I like those spots like that maybe aren't as obvious. but it's fairly close to a creek channel, so it looks like it's a pretty good point, has a pretty good drop off. I would definitely take a look at it. Over here, you're gonna see these nice little humps that are over here. Got one here, I can't see if it'll let me zoom in. At about 4 foot, you've got another one that's back here underneath that start button. It's a little point that comes out. It's 7 foot, so it keeps pretty shallow, and then it has that major break right here on the outside edge of it. If that didn't work, you could always come over here and look at this point. It's got a roadbed coming right across the side of it. So if the roadbeds were the thing, you got plenty of them here on this lake. Another area you could check out that I didn't mark for you guys would be like right down in here, this big point right here. You could check that out. Now I really like all this river bend stuff going on up in here too, right? These are high percentage areas that we're marking here. You've got really good ledges here probably. You got a submerged bridge out there, big shallow flat out here that just drops right into the river channel. That dock, these couple docks, actually from right here up, those are going to be high percentage docks for sure to go look at. Let's move back here. Get back here. We got a couple points. We got this nice little point here that's coming again off a creek bed swing. That one's nice. Come out here. We got a lot of junk going on here. We got the main river channel out here. We got submerged bridges at about 20 something foot. We got flooded timber. Lots of juiciness going on right in here. I don't really know where I'd say fish. Obviously, I'd fish these docks because they're touching the river channel. And then I'd probably come out here and just do some scanning around, see if there's actually still a bridge here and here. These bridges, instead of being in 100 and something feet of water, they're in 20 something foot of water. And these are definitely in play if they're still there for A-rigs and stuff like that. Good wintertime fishing right there. We're gonna go down here by this road. Obviously, this side, I mean, any of the pillars here are gonna be good because that creek comes right through it or the riverbed comes right through it. But that edge right there is probably gonna be your higher percentage area, and then also this edge over here. So kind of cat-a-corner spots. Looks like there might be a fish finder right in here too, or a fish attractor. That's usually what those fishes are. Then we're gonna move up here, just a couple more spots back in this thing. We got the submerged bridge there. We got a cool little point here. That's a nice little creek coming through here that connects. So you kind of have a nice little juncture on this side. And then this side, you've got the nice flat point. So it really just depends on how they're setting up, but they could definitely be attracted to this point, especially where it sets up. And then any docks you find, if there are any, along this side, you're gonna wanna fish them. Fish those, fish this one down here. Looks like it's all alone. Fish this one here, all of these. Any of them that have that seabed underneath them, you want to fish them. Coming down here, getting a little bit shallower, but we got a really good point here that has an intersection to the creek and the river. And then we're going to come back out. We're going to go up here to Paradise Point. We're going to try to keep pushing this video just a little bit longer so we can at least get up to the top of the lake and start working our way down. We've got a nice flat point that comes out here. It's got a nice flat top on it, but it also has a roadbed that's over here too. The other thing that you could check out, again, I could have put a waypoint here. You've got flooded timber here, plus you have a roadbed, and you've got a riverbed that's not too far from here. So this could be a primo point as well. So if you're fishing this one and it's good, flip over and fish this one right here. We're gonna come back out of here, go up here a little bit further. Another good point on the river channel. Another one, and this one I liked because it literally is swinging right against here. So this is like a bluff wall or something like that. Fishing on the edges of this, here and here, and then even fishing the bluff wall itself could definitely be productive for you. We're gonna move up. We've got a couple more here. This is where the bluff wall starts to taper off, right? You probably got a transition going on right in here too. Yep, you got a transition area. So a really good area, kind of right in there between those two waypoints, right before it gets really bluffy. And then you're probably gonna have like some sand or something like that, and then you're gonna hit that rock. And so it's gonna be right on that transition. I think that's it on this side, guys. So let's circle back around and let's go to this right here where it says point, and that's where we're gonna stop at for tonight. When I come back on the next video, we'll start there. We'll keep working our way south. We're about halfway through Grand Lake of the Cherokees now, which is pretty cool. It's only been, what, 7, 8 videos so far, but we'll get through it, don't worry. If you want these waypoints, you can always go out to our website and check it out, simplisticfishing.com. We not only have Grand Lake, but we have a lot of different lakes of Oklahoma. We have almost every lake in Texas done, believe it or not. And then we're across the U.S., so we've got Kentucky, Indiana, Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi. I think we even have some up in Michigan and Wisconsin. So we're all over the place. So if you have a lake you want us to break down, just send it over to us, Tyler@simplisticfishing.com, and I'll take care of it for you. If you want the waypoints, go out to the website. You can get them. It'll put them on a card for you. You can put that card into your graph, and then you'll have all these waypoints when you're out there on the lake. And if you don't want all those waypoints, you also get the digital file, which is the KML file that we went over, and that will show you all the waypoints there, and you can kind of plan your trip just using that file if you don't want to use all the waypoints. So lots of different ways to do it. Anyways, go check it out, simplisticfishing.com. And until next time, I hope you catch your PB.